Welcome to The Why. In our podcast, The Why, we're going to cover topics that are important to SAP customers and to our team. We want you to share this information internally. We want you to share this information outside of SAP Ariba. And we want you to be able to connect with other thought leaders in our business. This week, our podcast, The Why, we are at SAP Ariba Live, which is the place to be for business-to-business commerce. Joining me today on our podcast is the CEO of ConnXus. Thank you for joining us today, Rod.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, John.
This week at Ariba Live, we're talking about business with purpose. Can you tell us a little bit about ConnXus, what you do, and the business model that you have?
Sure. So ConnXus is a next-generation procurement platform that enables companies to build more inclusive, transparent, and compliant supply chains. We have a robust database that enables our customers to gain access to nearly 2 million vetted minority and women-owned businesses. And our cloud-based platform enables companies to track, monitor, and essentially track against internal supplier diversity compliance objectives.
That's a pretty big goal and a pretty big topic. Is there a way companies can sort of get started with ConnXus and begin to address this? Obviously, they may have a goal to spend money with minority owned businesses, but what advice do you give companies who want to get started in influencing their spend a little bit better?
So typically, companies will start working with us in what I call our baseline product. I like to call it our land and expand, and that's our data enrichment product.
Okay.
Companies want to first answer the question, what's the current makeup of our supplier network?
Right. So
who
they're spending money with today?
Who you're currently spending with. They may be spending with diverse suppliers and they don't even know it because they're not tracking it. So our platform really enables companies to scrub and clean the database to identify what the current baseline is.
And then do you work with companies to sort of, once you know the baseline, to pick a realistic goal and then figure out what the processes or what have you to get there?
Absolutely. So, those 2 million suppliers represent hundreds of categories, right?
Right.
And so companies are then able to really zoom in on category-specific opportunities, where once they kind of get that baseline, we can actually help them identify categories where where there's opportunity. So, you may have a particular category where, hey, we're spending, less than 1% in this particular category, when supplier availability is much higher than that. So we can actually set category-specific goals to reach our overall goals.
Now, it's great for a corporate company that wants to have goals. With the Ariba network, where you look to provide value to both, the big corporate customers as well as the suppliers themselves. So you've got 2 million companies that are suppliers that are part of the database. What do you do with the suppliers to help give them broader exposure? Or what advice do you give to the 2 million minority-owned businesses that are part of your community?
So, that's where our partnership with SAP Ariba comes into play, because prior to that, obviously, we're very focused on kind of building and evolving our product. I think if you want to have a major impact, right, you need a big partner.
Right.
And having access to 2 trillion in commerce transacted annually on the Ariba network, that was pretty exciting. And even once that partnership was announced between ConnXus and SAP Ariba, there was a lot of excitement, not only amongst the suppliers on our network, but also buyers that may not have been Ariba customers, but also buyers that were Ariba customers. Just the excitement of just having more access, not anything special, but just having access to the opportunity. So I think by making those, mapping those requirements to the Ariba network just creates the opportunity for everybody. Win-win.
Right. So bringing more business,
Absolutely.
Exposing these companies to new opportunities.
Absolutely. And even when you think about it, having an opportunity to compete. Hey, even if I don't win the first time, just having that exposure and getting that feedback, helps companies prepare. And we've even had a recent example of that where a company had been trying for years to get with McDonald's, for example, and fourth time was a charm. There was an opportunity that was available, and turned out to be $1 million contract opportunity, and that was pretty significant for this company.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. Yeah, so even if you don't win the first time, the exposure you get, as well as just the learnings you get from the experience and probably the network, right? You're helping businesses network together.
Absolutely.
Going forward.
And companies, one of the things that we've learned is oftentimes some companies who may be intimidated by, sort of this large, massive, Ariba, right?
Yeah,
but I
completely.
think it really showed. I've even had some suppliers mention to me that, wow, I probably wouldn't have even thought that I had a chance to compete for an opportunity on the SAP Ariba network. But the fact that they partnered with you guys, sort of creating this bridge from small business to sort of large,
the big business,
scalable
sure.
business, scaled business, and it's just eye-opening for people. I think they're realizing that, they're a company that really care.
Right, fantastic. So this is not your first time to Ariba Live. What are you here doing this week? Obviously talking about the business, right, and sort of the value you can bring. But what's some of the exciting things that people should look for this week with ConnXus?
So one thing I would say, getting invited into the SAP Ariba family, you start to get hooked. So you guys pretty much treat me like a member of the family and sort of include me in many activities. I think one great benefit for me is some of the partnerships that we've been able to develop with other SAP Ariba partners, companies like GRMS,
Sure,
looking
absolutely.
for ways to connect our data
Right.
on the back end to better serve our customers. And every year it seems to be someone new that comes into the mix, and we kind of figure out how
to
we might
work
do the
together.
business together. And so it's become like a reunion almost, and then we just continue to add people to the mix, and it's just been a great first day and a half for me.
Fantastic.
Just reconnecting. I think relationships are important. We
Mm-hmm.
can ink partnerships, but I think it's important to have that interaction, and this is a great forum to do that.
Great. Well, Rod, thank you for your message. Thank you for everything you do for the Ariba community. I think it's been a great partnership, and we wish you the best this week at the conference, everybody. Rod Robinson, CEO, ConnXus.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Our podcast, The Why, is put together by the People First team. We'll be producing The Why on a regular basis. If you have recommendations for topics, please contact the People First team. And please share this podcast with other members of our team or even outside our team. Thank you for listening to The Why.